We're going to continue working on some different sounds in English. So this part, we're just going to go through different sounds in English and we're going to practice them. So this part is going to be focused a lot more on practicing and comparing the way that you say these words to the way that I say it. I'll say each of the words, so the 3 words. I'll pause. You can pause the video at this point, practice it yourself, record yourself, and then I'll repeat those words. So ideally what you would do is listen, pause the video, record yourself saying the words, play the video, listen again, and then compare your recording to me repeating those words. Remember to pause, record yourself, practice, and then compare. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start with our first group of words here. We're focusing on this g sound. Okay, get, go, guard. Pause the video, practice. Get, go, guard. All right. Our next group of words, we have this j sound. J. Judge, soldier. Judge, soldier. We can see with this j sound, we have a few different ways or a few different spelling patterns that make this sound. We have, of course, the J, also the letter G sometimes makes this sound, and then sometimes a D whenever we have certain vowels after that D, as in soldier. Let's go to our next sound here, this ng sound. Remember, the sound comes from back here. We're kind of like closing our throat off. Sing, ring, finger. So in finger, we do hear that g sound. In sing and ring, we're not going to say sing and ring necessarily. If we want to overemphasize or exaggerate to practice, that's fine. But usually we just say sing, ring, finger. All right, pause and practice. Sing, ring, finger. Next one, we have our voiced TH. Okay, so we've practiced this before. Let's look at these words. We have then, bathe, lather. Pause to practice. Then, bathe, lather. All right. Our next sound is this zh sound. Remember, it's not exactly a smooth sh sound, and it's not exactly a z sound. It's somewhere in between. So we have pleasure, vision. Pleasure, vision. Very nice. Let's go on to the ch sound. Remember, the ch sound is different from sh because it's shorter and a little bit stronger. It's more forceful. So we have chip, chin, nature. If this sound is difficult for you, you can practice it with the SH sound. So for example, chip versus ship. Chin versus shin. Cheap versus sheep. Pause to practice. Let's listen to these words one more time. Chip, chin, nature. All right, let's go to our next group here. We have our voiceless TH. We have thin, thick, strength. That last one's hard. We have to make that ang sound back here and then the th sound. Strength. Remember, if we have a word like this that's very difficult, that has a lot of difficult sounds, we can slow it down, right? Strength. And just go through every single sound. Or we can even break it up. Strength. Either way, say it slowly where it's all connected, or pause after each part. So we can say strength or strength. Pause to practice. Thin, thick, strength. Our next one, now we have the sh sound. We've already seen the zh and the ch sound. Now we have the sh sound. So we have she, sugar, machine. One more time. She, sugar, machine. Right? And with machine, we want to avoid saying machine. Even though it's a CH, we pronounce it as an SH sound. Sh, machine, machine. So again, just because we have the same spelling pattern does not mean that it's going to make the same sound. So the CH combination can make quite a variety of sounds. We have the ch, the sh, and then like in the word chemistry, it makes a k sound. So whenever we see CH, that doesn't always mean that it's going to make a ch sound. Next we have the y sound. Y. Again, this sound can be created by a lot of different spelling patterns, not just a Y. So let's look at yet, use, beauty. Yet, use, beauty. Right? Beauty. It's making a y sound. All right, let's continue to some vowel sounds. We have this ah sound. Remember, this ah sound, we need our mouth open. Ah, ah. As in cat, bad, trap. Pause to practice. Cat, bad, trap. Right. Next we have our schwa sound. We briefly talked about this. We'll be talking about it throughout this course. Remember, the schwa sound is this very relaxed, kind of neutral vowel sound that we make a lot in English. This sound can be created by any vowel. It can be A, E, I, O, U. And the thing is, with this schwa sound, we're always going to make this sound on the unstressed vowel, or the unstressed syllable. So for example, in the word about, about is stressed, right? It's not about, it's about. About is stressed. So on the unstressed vowel, the A here, we're going to make this schwa sound, because we're not saying about, we're not saying about, we're saying about. Right? It's kind of an sound. Very relaxed, very neutral vowel sound. Same thing with comma. Right? Comma. So calm, that's the part that is stressed, and the unstressed vowel at the end, the A, is the our schwa sound. Comma. Right? It's very neutral. Again, our mouth is super relaxed, and we're just making a sound in this relaxed position. About, comma. Next we have E, this E sound, as in happy, glorious. Pause to practice. Happy, glorious. Next we have our sound, as in dug, run, strut. Dug, run, strut. Very nice. Let's go on to our other vowel sounds here. We have our short E sound, as in bed, net, dress. Remember, the short E sound is eh. It's not as closed as the Spanish E sound, right? So instead of bed, we would say bed. a little more relaxed, a little more open. And we want to make sure that there's a difference between bed and bad, right? Net and nat, or nate. Those three sounds can be fairly similar for people of certain languages. So make sure that we can hear a difference between, for example, net, nat, nate, right? Bed, net, dress. Let's go to our short I sound here. My advice is to keep your mouth fairly relaxed. Make sure it's not an E sound or an E sound. It's somewhere in between there. For example, kit, E, E. My mouth is very relaxed. E, E. Kit, bid, him. Pause to practice. Kit, bid, him. This is a difficult sound for you. A good way to practice is with the E sound, right? So this versus these. Rich versus reach. Let's go to our ah sound. Ah, as in hot, odd, wash. Pause to practice. Hot, odd, wash. Next, another difficult sound we have is the sound. Book, put, foot. Again, our mouth is pretty relaxed. We're not making an oo sound. We're not making an sound. Our mouth is very relaxed. Book, put, foot, Right, I'm barely moving my mouth. It's more with the tongue. We're making that sound. So our tongue is a little bit further back. It's not necessarily here, as with the other vowels, and it's very relaxed. So we want to avoid saying book or buck. Right? It's not book and it's not buck, rather book. So we're almost curving our tongue back a little bit. Let's go on to some more vowel sounds here. Next we have this sound. As in her, nurse, learn. So with this one, since we're making that R sound, remember to make an R we have to pull our tongue back. So to make the sound, our tongue is being pulled back and almost curled up as well. We're kind of closing off our mouth with our tongue. So it's going to be touching the top of our mouth, but more in this place rather than in the front. Her, nurse, learn. Let's go to our E sound, as in meet, see, fleece, E. This is our long E. Meet, see, fleece. Next we have our oo sound. So we saw our sound as in book. Now we're going to look at oo. And again, this isn't as closed as oo. Right? It's a little bit longer, oo, and not as closed. For example, boot, to, group. We want to avoid saying boot, to, and group. Right? So that's too closed. We need to open up the sound a little bit more. Boot, to, group. Moving on to some diphthongs. Remember, the diphthongs are sounds where the vowel is changing. It's not a straight vowel. It's going to change. For example, with I, You can see that my mouth is changing. I. Let's practice with bite, my, price. Pause to practice. Bite, my, price. The next sound is the A sound. So we just looked at I, now we're going to look at A. This sound is also moving, right? It's a changing vowel sound. A. So we have fate, day, break. Pause to practice. Fate, day, break. All right. Our next one, so now we have some combinations with our R sound. We have a lot of vowel sounds with R. The first one we'll look at here, we have this ear sound. Ear. Right? So this is also changing. We have quite a few sounds here. Let's start with peer, near, weary, peer, near, weary. Again, after each time I say a group of words, make sure to pause, practice, record yourself, and then you can compare your recording to my pronunciation. Next one, tour, cure, jury. Pause to practice. Tour, cure, jury. With this word cure, we want to make sure that it doesn't sound like care. So we have care and we have cure. Next group, we have this hour sound. So if we think of the word hour, that's what the sound is going to sound like. This can be created by usually a O-U-R as well as O-W-E-R. Usually those are the two combinations of letters that we see that create this sound. So let's look at these words. We have sour, cower, flower. So we can say flower with an O-U-R or also flower as an O-W-E-R. So these two words are pronounced exactly the same. Flower, flower. One more time. Sour, cower, flower. Very nice. Let's go to our next group. We have this ow group, almost like you hurt yourself. Ow. But this, usually we see this combination with an O-W, sometimes with an O-U as well. Brow, how, mouth. Pause to practice. Brow, how, mouth. Another thing to remember, we'll mention this so many times in this course, just because two words follow the same spelling pattern does not mean that they are pronounced the same. And we can see that with this group, the ow group, and the next group, which is O, because we have the word show and we have the word how or brow. They both have this ending of OW, but they are pronounced very differently. So just a reminder, that's something that is, tricky in English, but definitely something that we can get used to and learn by repetition and by using this method of drilling. Let's go to our next group, which is O. We have goat, show, know. With this group, we also want to make sure that it's not too close. We want to avoid saying goat, show, no. Right? We have to make it a little more open. You will hear some native English speakers pronounce the O as a very close sound. It is a dialect usually found in the north of the United States or sometimes in Canada. But sometimes in other languages we have a very closed O sound, and that's what we want to avoid. So instead of goat, show, no, we want goat, show, no, right? And it's a changing vowel, so we should hear that change. Sometimes we just have this flat O sound that we find in many languages, and that's what we want to avoid. We want to make sure that it's a changing vowel sound. Show, goat, no. Our next sound, we have this oi sound, as in boil, choice, boy, oi. So our tongue is really pulled back here, oi, oi. And that's what's giving us that oi sound. So our tongue is initially being pulled back and then going forward to make the oi, e sound. Boil, choice, boy. Next we have this air sound. You want to make sure that this air sound is different from the ear sound. So we can practice with ear, air, or hear, hair. Let's take a look at these words. We have hair, dare, various. Pause to practice. Hair, dare, various. All right. Our last group here, we have this ire. Ooh, we have quite a few sounds here. So we have the I and then So I from bite and then the from her. Ire, ire. Fire, buyer, liar. We see a lot of different combinations of spelling here. Fire, buyer, liar. All right. Excellent. So we do have other sounds also in British English. We have sounds that are quite different, especially with the R's. So that is something to take into consideration, especially if you're Googling these sounds. A lot of websites and books refer more to the British English pronunciation. So we might see words or groups of words such as cart, arm, and father being in the same group for British English. While for North American English, those are different sounds. Cart and father are two different sounds. So that is something to take into consideration if you're Googling or if you're using the internet to look up pronunciation. But a lot of times, these R sounds in British English are not pronounced the same as in North American English. All right, so remember, go back through this section of the video, practice these different sounds, record yourself, compare your recording with my voice or any example that you can find on YouTube, on the internet, and then take note of the words that you think you need to improve. Remember, with these words that you need to improve, we're going to practice them every single day in 10 different sentences. So if I find that this ire sound is really difficult for me, I'm going to take the word liar and I'm going to make 10 sentences with it and practice it. And remember, we're always going to record ourselves so that we can hear ourselves.